Hey guys, my name is Muffy. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build a profitable personal brand in 4 simple steps. To set the expectations for this video, not complicated at all, no ongoing jargon. I'm just going to show you exactly what you need to do to get started, to go from posting random content to actually building a brand, to take people from being strangers to liking you, to knowing you, to trusting you with the solution that you've got for their problem. Let's get straight into this. Step number 1 is making yourself the obvious choice. Now, this isn't just what do you do. This is who do you help, what results you get them, and why someone should pick you over anyone else. So let's go through that one by one. The first one is who do you help? If you're too broad, it feels like you're talking to everyone. Now, with any client that I onboard, I have a document where I go through a series of questions with them, and I can send it over to you as well, where we get very intimate about the person that we're trying to attract. What do they believe? What goals do they have? What is their opinion about money? What beliefs do they have? What kind of desires do they have? What do they do for hobbies? The more detailed that we can be on this, the more that we can zero in on just one specific person, our content is going to scream out to them specifically, and they're going to choose us above anyone else. I'm going to come into that in just a second. So the second thing is, what results do you get them? People don't buy services, they buy outcomes. They don't want video editing, they don't want ads, they want more revenue, they want to be more respected, they want to be able to help their family. These are different things that we can understand and put into our marketing to speak out to those people that want them desires. Now, going back to what I said earlier about dialing in specifically what do they want, their beliefs, the kind of hobbies they have, is answering the question of why should they choose us over everyone else that's there. Now, me, I'm a Christian, so that if I was to work potentially with any kind of mentorship or any type of entrepreneur, a Christian entrepreneur is going to be 9 times out of 10 more attractive of a solution than anyone else, purely because I know, oh, if you're Christian, you probably have these kind of beliefs and you have these kind of principles. Now, that's just my faith, but that could apply to anything. If I'm interested in football, yeah, I want to 100% somebody that talks about football, even if it has nothing to do with the solution of what they're doing, it's going to grab my attention slightly more than every single other person. And one thing I was actually having a conversation with a client one time, and I was mentioning, so they're female, and I was mentioning to them, like, yo, you should really lean into your audience being young female students that are in university. And she kind of hesitated and she was like, well, yeah, but I don't really like the idea of isolating people. But I think people make the mistake of choosing one person isn't isolating others, it's loving that one person enough that you're going to actually be more of a solution. Now, think about it more practically. I'm a young person, so I'm 24. I'm a Christian. I grew up in an African household. I like football, all of these different things. Now, if there was a person that was a business coach that had all of these traits and probably grew up in an African household and played football and was a Christian and probably could understand me, him really focusing and making content about what it was like to be like that and maybe content that I would understand, yeah, 100%, I'm going to really mess with that person and be like, yo, like, I'm so happy that there's someone out there for me. However, if there was a white guy that was into basketball and he was the most amazing business coach ever, he could help and solve my problems. But what people don't understand is there's a level of trust in somebody that looks like you or looks like they've came from where you once were that will allow you to be more understanding and almost have a bit more comfortability with working with someone like that. So rather than thinking of these things as bugs, they're just features, and we need to be comfortable with using human psychology to actually help us out. So if people that are girls want to work with girls, then let's recognize that and let's use that in our content. So if you're a guy, write down all of the traits that you have and see how you could use that in your content. The other day, I purposely posted a video of myself playing football, and quite a few people messaged me because I understood, like, yeah, I should let people know that I play sports as well. It's great me just knowing content and speaking about Christianity, but these other soft things that look like they play no part to why somebody would want to work with me actually play the biggest parts to why someone chooses you. And the kind of final practical example of what I'm saying is, if two people can do the same thing and one talks about working harder and one talks about working smarter, they attract two completely different people. One of the biggest mistakes people make is paying no idea to their visual identity. Now I'm going to ask you a question. If I had a job interview and I told you, oh, I wore a tracksuit and some shoes that had a hole in them, and I didn't have a haircut, and my t-shirt had a stain, would you be surprised if I told you, oh, I didn't get that job interview? The answer would be no, because we understand that how we present ourselves has some kind of impact of what somebody perceives us to be like in the future. Now, if we understand that in real life, why do we not apply that to our content? Our content purely visually can be an indication of what it would like to be, of what it would look like to work with us. Now, that could be from the kind of colors that you use, the fonts that you use, the filming style that you use. All of these soft little things are part of the brand that we're building, and people don't pay enough attention to the brand part of personal branding. I do content. Wouldn't it be a bit odd if my content didn't look premium? There's a reason why I probably have to use an expensive camera compared to everyone else. I have to use professional lighting compared to everyone else. Because if I'm going to teach content, I have to come off as though I'm an expert in this field. It matters how I look. The same way, if you're going to be charging a premium price for your services, you probably want to have a premium onboarding experience, a premium way of doing the things that you do to indicate the prices that you charge, to indicate the foundations and the identity that happens when somebody steps into your world. So it doesn't mean that everyone needs to have an expensive camera, but it's to understand that there's a visual identity we need to pay attention to. And I've got a document that could just help you also build your brand. If that's something you're interested in, just message me or put a comment below. I'll be happy to send it over. Now, the next thing to fix is your profile. When someone clicks on your page, in about 2 seconds, they're going to decide whether they care about you or they don't. And we need to start thinking about our profile, specifically our Instagram profile, as a landing page, as a website. So that's us having a clear bio that tells people what we do. That's us having a CTA for free resource, which is the next logical step for someone to take to work with us. Proof of the results that we can do. Having pinned videos, that one being our story, another being results that we've gotten someone, another being a shifting of belief that you have to know, want to enter into our world. Now, the main thing with our profile is that when somebody lands on our page, they need to understand instantly why they should follow you. And that's the second step. Now, the third step is to post the right content. Everyone is sold this myth of just post content, just post content. You're like a homeless person in the middle of the street screaming. It makes no sense. I'm going to give you this short story. Homeless people have some of the best marketing to ever learn from. The other day, I was taking out money and then this homeless guy approached me and he had whatever DM scripts that he had of, oh, I needed the money for hostel XYZ, XYZ. Now, what made me laugh about this story was I was going to give the guy the money anyway. But specifically, he understood to stand outside of an ATM and wait for people to take out their money when he would ask them, oh, could I borrow some money to do XYZ? Whenever you go to Tesco or Lidl, you're going to find a homeless person sat there that's going to ask, oh, by the way, when you go in for your shopping, could you get me something, please? Now, these people understand something very intuitively, that if I need to get a message across, I have to position myself to the right people that could actually help me solve my problem, and I have to come up in the right times and in the right formats in order for people to listen to what I have to say. Now, posting content just randomly using any kind of font, using any kind of random thing that you see, you're doing the equivalent of a homeless person holding up a board in the middle of the street just shouting. People get scared of that person. But if you can understand what to post, who you're trying to post to, and the way to show up, you're like the homeless person outside of an ATM. You're like the homeless person that's sitting out of Tesco that really understands how to garner attention. Now, our content should do one of two things. It should get people's attention and stop them. So that should be our opinions, relatable situations / stories, and just showing our lifestyle. And number two, it should help solve a problem. So this is how we build trust. So we show people how to do something, answer real problems, and keep it simple enough that they can actually follow it. And the main thing to know about content, whether it's worth your time or not worth your time, is simply this. If our content doesn't attract the right people or it doesn't help them, it will not convert. Now, the last thing in this whole 4-step process is to turn attention into conversations. Now, this is the biggest mistake that most people make. They think content makes money. It doesn't. Conversations with people do. Now, if somebody's watching our pieces of content, but no one's reaching out, nothing's going to happen. So the practical way to fix this is if somebody likes our post, we message them and say, hey, I saw that you just followed us or you liked this post. Why is it that you decided to like this post? What are you interested in seeing? It's if somebody has saved a lot of our videos, we then send them over to our YouTube of, oh, I have a complete breakdown of this problem that you're actually looking at. It's using call to actions at the end of our videos to take people further along our ecosystem. So going from our Instagram to our YouTube to consuming lead magnets to eventually booking a call. Our goal isn't to have views, our goal is to get the right people to come to us. And these are 4 practical steps you can take right now to start building your personal brand and to start making money from it. Now, if you're somebody that already knows what they want to do and you're trying content, but it's not really working for you and you're not really building a brand and it's something that you want to learn how to do properly, message me down below and I'll be happy to help you. All right, cool. Take care.